Hi, friends. Welcome back to Faith and Arrow Homestead. My name is Jaylee, and this is our second winter virtual book club meeting. And this time we read The End of the World is Just the Beginning by Peter Zeihan. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is the most nervous I've ever been for a live stream because this book was political, could be perceived that way. And it was not the easiest book to read. There's a lot of information, a lot to digest. And I had numerous conversations with my mom where I was like, Mom, I have to discuss this book in a live stream. What have I done? So I'm going to try and keep the conversation about this book so that it relates to this channel, which is a homesteading channel. There was definitely a lot of information in this book that was very encouraging for me as a homesteader and very much, keep doing what you're doing, keep learning the skills that you're learning, keep growing your own food. And so we're going to keep the conversation kind of that direction. But obviously I'm open to whatever comments you guys have. And I'm interested to see if anybody else read this dang book because I listened to it audibly. I listened to it, I didn't read it. And I had to really focus on paying attention to it. It was not an easy one. So I learned my lesson from the last live stream. I watched it back, the last book club live stream when we read No Pain, No Gains by Chip Gaines, and I was cringing the whole time. That was my first live stream, and when I was doing it, I didn't consider the fact that it gets recorded and then posted as a video on my channel, and it does not keep the chat. So this time, when I respond to people from the chat live, I will say what they say first. For the most part, if people are just saying hi or whatever, I'm not going to do that. But if they make any commentary that I respond to, I'll read what they said. So when people watch this back, they can keep up with it a little better. So, Kate, hi, my friend. Yes, Kate said this book was intense and so informative, and that's true. She said, I listened and had to do a lot of backing up and re-listen. Yes, me too. I use the Hoopla app and it has a back 15 seconds button. And if I had $1 for every time I hit the back 15 seconds button, I could buy some property. I hit that button so many times. If you're just popping in to this live stream, let me know if you read this book. Oh, hi, Dee. I'm so glad. Your surgery went well? So I'm doing this live stream at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I did the last one 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we had a nice little group, but it was small. So I'm just playing around with the times to see if there is a time that better suits everybody. Oh, Kate said, I used Audible. You can adjust how many seconds to go back or forward. That is a great feature. Yeah, that'd be really useful because sometimes I would hit the back button. Like I wouldn't have been listening for like a whole 2 minutes and I'd have to go back. So that would have been nice. Okay, I'm going to try and stay right on topic for this. Like I said, when it gets translated into a video, I want it to be easy to follow. So like I said, this book was very encouraging, I feel, to the homesteading lifestyle. It spoke a lot about kind of the collapse of things as we know them, how a lot of products are going to be unavailable, and how the production of things are going to come back more locally because trade internationally is going to be harder and less frequent, frankly. And I didn't realize just how deep that ran for us. Maybe at a superficial level I knew, but he really broke it down just how much we rely on other places for a lot of the things that we have and how it's not just one place, right? Because there was a lot of propaganda around China, how everything we have comes from China. And I didn't realize that that's not necessarily true. It was likely assembled in China or another place similar, or maybe some of the less complicated tech came from China, but likely, like for the phone, the iPhone, for example, bits and pieces of it were produced all over the world and then shipped to one location to be assembled. And then that's where the made in China, made in Taiwan, made in wherever label gets put on before it gets shipped back to us. And I did not know that. Yep, Kate said, I knew we depended on other countries, but I didn't realize how many or how much. Yes, same. Me too. Me too. And D, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that your surgery went well. Rest up, eat some soup. I'm really glad to hear that. But yes, so I feel I was actually a little disappointed. I don't think he dived as deep into what that looks like locally. There were a few things he said. My husband is a machinist, and he said like machine shops are going to be doing really well for themselves because they're going to be creating a lot of these things that are created elsewhere. So he did say some stuff. I was really hoping he'd dive really deep into like what is this going to look like for like a town or at a state level even. But all I know is I'm going to continue learning the skills that I've been learning. I took some notes here. They are not as organized. I feel like my notes for this last one were so organized. These are kind of sporadic because, like I said, there were bits and pieces of this that I understood and bits and pieces that were over my head. I thought it was very interesting. He said oil is the main ingredient in most pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides, and the base material of fertilizers also include natural gas. And that just really grossed me out. I actually backed it up and listened to him say it again. And I was like, oil? And I don't mean seed oils. I mean like mechanical, like oil. I don't know how else to say it. Like oil is in our fertilizers. That's really gross, right? Am I right for thinking that? That's really gross. And then another note I took, China uses 5 times as much fertilizers as the rest of the world, and they are huge food producers. I guess I had never really considered, I don't think I knew that. I don't think I knew that we were getting a lot of our food from China. And it made me realize, I guess I don't really know where our food is coming from. The stuff that's not grown locally in the United States. And that was one eye-opening thing in this book, was how things are sent back and forth. Like one place would produce 5% of the world's wheat or something, but then they would import like 10% of it. And it's like, well, then why would you send it out in the first place? Just keep what you grew. That doesn't make any sense. So it's just a very complex thing. But I did not know that China, I did not know that their soil was as bad as it was. And I did not know that they were using as many fertilizers as they are. And I didn't realize that we were getting as much of our food. So because you guys know that I'm really big on like healthy eating and stuff like that, avoiding pesticides, avoiding seed oils and all that. And it made me realize just how limited my view of the whole thing is, because here I'm picturing like a cowboy in, I don't know, Texas or something, out in his field with his horses, inspecting his corn crop that gets sprayed with pesticides. And in my mind, that's the worst of it, right? Like that is the bad. That's the bad. Like somewhere here in the United States, we're spraying the crap out of our crops. And then that's what I'm trying to avoid, right? I'm trying to eat organic and not eat things. It never even dawned on me that those things are coming from somewhere else in the world. Like it never crossed my mind. I just assumed that I was like getting it from a cornfield in Texas or, that was hard for me. Well, Tommy Girl said, I bought the book to join in on the discussion, but haven't cracked it open yet. So I'm here to listen in on this discussion. I'm so sorry. This discussion is not going to be an accurate representation of this book. This book was a lot. It's difficult to digest for sure. Something else that stood out to me, I found this very interesting. Still do it though, Tommy Girl. Still read it. It's good. It's good information. The author was talking about how when the order goes down and trade is not as common, and we are the world as we know it, isn't as it is. We don't have access to the same things. We don't have the abundance of things the way we do now. how meat consumption will decrease. And I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. I could get behind that. But what I didn't realize was because of that, soy consumption will go up. And that scared me because I actually try to consume as little soy as I possibly can. Soy sauce is pretty much the only thing left that I'm like, yeah, I'll consume that without feeling bad about it. Otherwise, I like really, really, really try to not consume soy as best I can. And so when he was like, yeah, well, like having beef is going to be like special. Like you can't just have ground beef all the time like we do now, or chicken or whatever. It's not going to be for everybody. It's going to be, special. And everybody's going to consume soy as their protein source. That really stood out to me. I was like, yes, Dee said soy is horrible for breast cancer. Yeah, soy is horrible for a lot of things. It's not good. And that's going to be a main protein source. And so and it's funny because I actually listened to Jess from Roots and Refuge. She had a video go out, I think it was this morning, or maybe it was yesterday. I watched it this morning, and she was talking about like resilience and stuff like that. And she said in that video how like she has a lot less stress when she thinks about, how does she say it? When she thinks about like, if things go wrong or if something like that happens, she has a lot less stress about it now because she has so many resources. Whereas before, when she was dreaming about the life, it gave her a lot of anxiety to think about those things and to hear about those things because she didn't have the same resources. And that's how I felt when I heard him talk about the meat consumption going down, because I am not in a place in my life where I can do a lot of animal husbandry. And so if that happened now, if the order fell and trade ceased and all of these things fell into place, I'd be one of the soy consumers unless I ate my chickens. But I really don't want to. It just showed me that there's still so much work to be done before I'll be like, okay, the world can go ahead and end. I'm ready. All right, let's see. So the meat thing made me uncomfortable. This next one made me really uncomfortable. Yes, Kate. Kate said there's a lot of vegetables and grains that have protein. That's true. If that happened, I would still try to avoid soy, but depending on the severity of the situation, I'd eat what I could eat, right, to survive. But yeah, there's like beans and stuff that have protein. So there are other sources besides just soy. He talked about organic gardening, and it made me feel real convicted, you guys. So he said it a couple different times in different places in the book, how terrible organic gardening is and how it has like 5 times the carbon footprint of regular gardening, and how you think you're doing the right thing by not consuming the pesticides, but they are still using the pesticides just in a different way. And so the banana example was the one that got me. I'm not like a crazy banana consumer. I buy them like honestly maybe 4 times a year, but I buy the organic bananas, and I have felt good about that. Like I put it in my cart and I'm like, look at me with my organic bananas, right? Wrong. So he said that people are literally dying growing organic products. And yeah, I don't buy anything. Oh, and then I said, I don't want to buy anything from the store anymore, because even when you think you're doing the right thing, you're not. I buy organic bananas, and I've contributed to someone literally dying from being around the extra harsh, doubly applied chemicals around my organic bananas, because that's what he was saying. So what they do in the banana example, I don't know if this is for all organic crops or if it's just for bananas, they spray a circle around like so many like feet or yards away, like whatever the protocol is or the law or whatever. They spray pesticides around the banana farm, banana orchard. And they nuke it. Like they saturate this like line so that it keeps, bugs or disease or whatever from infiltrating inward, because once it's compromised, usually the whole field goes down, all the banana trees go down. And he was saying that people die. I mean, like it's such a heavy pesticide presence that the people who are working on the farms like literally die from it. Bananas, you guys, bananas. Like that one really bothered me. You can tell it still bothers me. I feel like, you hear like blood diamonds and stuff like that. So what, they're blood bananas now? Like, are you kidding me? Really? 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 Can we have nothing? Can we not have anything? Dee said this world is nuts. It is nuts. That's what this book taught me. This world is nuts. I'm like, great. So the next time I eat an organic banana, it had something to do with someone's tragic pesticide-induced death. That's crazy. All right, moving on from that. That one's got me worked up. Underneath it, I wrote, I'm trying to enjoy what I have while I have it. I've literally been thinking that. Like, I made a really good dinner last night. I made mozzarella stuffed meatloaf with homemade mashed potatoes and sourdough toast with like delicious farm fresh butter on the toast. Oh, such a good dinner. And as we were eating it, I just was looking around and I was like, we live in such abundance, such abundance. And if any of this happens while I'm alive, I'm not saying that we wouldn't survive, but it would be rough, right? I mean, it would be really difficult. And I've been trying to come to grips with that. I've been trying to change my like overall perspective, like the narrative that's in my mind, or how do I say it? The picture in my mind, I guess, because it's so easy to do like what Jess says and like read the Hunger Games and be like, yeah, if that happened, I would do this. But your girl loves hot showers and ice cream and steak, my iPhone, I don't know, comfortable bedding. Like, I don't know realistically what I would do if I lost like most of the comforts that I have. And it freaked me out because he said kind of early on in the book, I think, that this period of peace and abundance that we've been living in is like unheard of in history. Like there's nothing like it anywhere in history, what we have now. And that really freaks me out because if that's true, how fragile it must be, Ugh, freaks me out. Freaks me out. So I'm a Christian. I'm just going to trust God. I'm going to trust him to provide. I'm not going to let this disrupt my peace as a person. But I am definitely going to continue working towards self-sufficiency, but with an emphasis on community. Holly said, what is the name of the book? The End of the World is Just the Beginning by Peter Zeihan. And it's geopolitical. It's not religious. Basically, if there is a basically for this book, it is the trade, the universal trade that we enjoy is protected by something called the order. And if any of that were to collapse, then international trade would collapse. And if we can't get the products safely that we rely safely and consistently from the other countries that we receive, life as we know it would look very different. And he explains all the very many terrifying reasons why he thinks that's going to happen within the next 10 to 30 years. That's what the book is about. You're welcome, Holly. Yeah, so you guys can imagine that as I was reading this and I was like, I have to host a virtual book club on this topic, I was like, what have I done? This is way over my head. I am not qualified to have this conversation. Fun fact that while I was reading this book, I was at the same time being introduced to Nick Freitas. his podcast. What is his podcast called? Making the Argument with Nick Freitas. Some of you may follow him on Instagram. He's very popular in the homesteading community. He lives in Virginia, and he does state legislation there. And it was just very interesting to listen to his podcast and read this book at the same time. Because I felt like the book gave me a worldly view, where his podcast gave me like a national view, like a United States view. Both of them talking about different issues, but to just be hearing both sides of that at the same time was very unsettling. And then when I was, hi, Amy. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, guys, let me know. Oh, and Jennifer, sorry, I missed that. Hi, Jennifer. Let me know in the chat where you guys are watching from. Stop it, Kate. Kate said, you are as qualified as John the Baptist was to baptize Jesus. Girl, you are overestimating my abilities. Oh, man. Wisconsin, nice, nice. I'm in New York. Upstate, Western New York. Did you guys all, everybody who's in this live stream right now, did you read the book, The End of the World is Just the Beginning by Peter Zeihan? It was good, but it was tough. Southwest Ohio, nice. Very cool. And then listening, California, ooh. Good, Holly, I'm glad. Wow. Is it Rachel? Is that how you pronounce it? Listening while milking my goats in my milk room in Oklahoma. I'll tell you what, girlfriend. I feel like if I were listening to that book while I was milking my goats, I would have felt a lot better about what I was reading. You go on. That's great. Do you think you're going to read it, Amy? Oh, Kate. Kate said that she's born and bred in Maine. First snowstorm starts at 1 a.m. That's because it's here right now. It's on its way to you. We've got about, let's see, last I looked, and it's snowing steadily. I bet we probably have close to 5 inches. Rochelle. Ooh, pretty. It's a pretty name. Yeah, Kate, it's coming your way, girl. It's here right now. I'm glad, though. We've not really had any snow. I'll take it. I'll take a little bit of snow. Okay, sorry, I'm focused. So listening to the podcast and reading the book at the same time made me realize that I need to be more involved in the world around me, because I listened to one podcast episode of his where he broke down like what he does, like the government that he's involved in. And he literally explained like how a bill works, like how a bill gets passed. And y'all, I'm wanting to homeschool my kids. Like, and I was like, I don't know any of this. I was really kind of embarrassed. I was like, oh gosh, I really need to study government a little bit more and have more of an idea, because I say that because I am not political. If I'm going to be the kind of person who cares about things, I think I probably need to know how to protect them. Is that fair to say? Should I say that? I don't want to. It's poor man's fertilizer. That's funny. I'm glad you're looking forward to the snow. I'm glad. I'm excited that it's here. It's fun and it's pretty. But yeah, I need to be more involved, because there was one episode where Nick was talking about how did he say it? He was saying that I'm trying to think what the example was. I think he was talking about raw milk. And he was like, it's not enough to just send a letter or an email to your state legislator. You have to like show up to the meetings. And and he was talking about lobbyists and how, yes, it was raw milk. And he was saying that when a bill is getting passed, large ag dairy will send lobbyists that they pay for to make a case in their favor. And usually that goes against raw milk, because, right, they want you to buy pasteurized milk from the store. It benefits them. And so he was like, you need to have at least a basic understanding of how government works so you can participate in protecting the things that you want. And I said, oh, I feel attacked. Excuse me, because I have not the first clue how to do any of that. Like, I don't know how any of it works. I don't know how anything gets passed. And it made me realize that that is probably exactly, is this bad to say on a live stream? Probably exactly what they want. Because people who are uninformed, uneducated are easy to control. And Jaylee 2 years ago would have been fine with that. But Jaylee now has things to protect and rights that she wants. So I think that it's my responsibility to become more informed. Kate said, just had an ad pop up in this live. Is that a thing? Yeah. So when I start a live, it has, if I want monetization turned on, then I have to select it. Like, it won't let you click next without selecting, like an ad. How do I say it? Like an ad frequency, I guess, or an ad. I don't know how to say it. It's weird. It's a weird thing that you have to select when you start a live stream. If you have monetization turned on, if I had it turned off, you wouldn't have to get any, not to say that YouTube wouldn't still maybe do it because they can do what they want, but thank you. You're sweet. Yeah. Sorry guys. I'm definitely monetization turned on at the moment. Maybe someday. All right. Well, that's all I had. Do you guys have any thoughts from the book? Or even if you are here and you didn't read the book, but you've been listening to me talking, do you have any thoughts or opinions or questions or anything? Or you know what? Even if it's not book related, we're here. I'll chat. What do you got for me? I'm really excited because I have the tour of the new property going up tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it was a really fun video to film. My dad was the cameraman, and it was so cool filming it. And I really like the thumbnail. I've been working on my thumbnails. Yep, Kate said it's a difficult read, but well worth it. Very true. And then here, I'm going to put in the chat, you guys start listening to this podcast. If you're into podcasts, I am. Making the Argument, is that what it's called? Making the Argument. This guy is he's very pro Constitution. He's very pro protecting your rights and making sure that they are not infringed upon and that kind of thing. And he talks about it from a government standpoint, like using all the correct terminology and whatnot. And I really appreciate that. And I've been learning a lot from him. So he's a great one to listen to. He has talks about a lot of common or not common, but popular controversial issues. And it's just an interesting perspective to get. So if you're into podcasts, listen to that one. Oh, Tommy Girl said, not book related, but getting super burned out on my corporate job. You've been there for 27 years. So I'm trying to learn how to be more self-sufficient and keep more of my money. And you're helping me with your channel. Thank you. So this is actually something that I'm going to make a video about. I've got the idea in my heart, but I'm not sure exactly when I'll execute this. But it has been very eye-opening for me in this past year, 2023, how many ways you can make money and support yourself without it being corporately structured. And I don't think I ever knew that. Or I guess I always had the preconceived idea that that's looked down upon. Like, you need the standard 9 to 5 to be a respected adult. And I'm still, I know that's true because I'm still battling with it. I'm paying my bills. My bills are paid. I'm being a productive member of society and I'm working and paying my bills. And yet still somehow I feel less than because I don't have a standard job. And I don't think that's cool. Where does that come from? Why do I feel that way? I mean, I'm serving a great purpose. Like I'm caring for the elderly, and then in my spare time I'm teaching people like life skills. How are those things not valuable? And yet somehow I feel less than. And so there's something there. There's something ingrained there. So yeah, I want to make a video dispelling that notion, and then also talking about different ways that you can make money. And there are many. There are many. So I am right now in the process of nailing down my sourdough recipe, my artisanal, like artisan, like the pretty impressive loaf that has like the scoring and the patterns and stuff. I'm really, really trying to nail that down because I want to sell sourdough bread. I think there's a need for it in my area. Nobody's really doing that. And I've had so many people be like, do you sell bread? I don't, but I want to. So that's just one example that I'll mention because it's on par with this conversation. Like there are so many skills out there that you could learn and then profit from: making soap, sewing, making clothes, tea towels, all sort. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. There's so many ways that you can make money that's not a standard 9 to 5 job. And my recommendation for you, Tommy, if that's, maybe I took this a different direction than what you were meaning, but if you are interested in leaving your corporate job and but obviously still need to make money, kind of look around and see if there's a need that needs filling, what or a want that needs filling, and kind of go from there. And of course, pray about it. That's always going to be my advice. Hello Sunshine said, I'm still considered unemployed by others because I work from home. Good for you. Homemade Windex. How? Tell us your secret. Well, actually, first, wait, before you tell us, does it work? Did it leave streaks? This is fun, guys. Thank you, Dee. I like live streams. I think I definitely want to do, okay, actually, you guys tell me if I should. I want to do a live stream where we just talk about homesteading, homemaking, health, anything we want, that relates to my channel, which could be so many different things. And just having a fun, pleasant, it doesn't even have to be a Q&A, just like wherever the conversation takes us. I've been really wanting to do one of those because I've been connecting with some of you guys in the comment section of my videos. And then I also connect with a lot of you on Instagram. And if you are on Instagram but don't follow me, Faith and Arrow Homestead, I love when people DM me. I love talking to you guys. So I just think doing a live stream would be so much fun, such a fun way for us to connect, but then for you guys to connect. So many of you chat amongst yourselves in my comments, which I love, but this is live and really fun. I think it could be really cool. Amy, you said that it works. That's good. So tell us then, how did you do it? Do you have a recipe for it? You guys said that would be a good idea. Ooh. We'll have to do that. All right, this has been going on for a half an hour, so let's talk about the next book. It would probably help if I had that pulled up. And you know what? It's in my notes. Hold, please. Let me come back to my live stream. I want to read. Last time I had you guys give me your thoughts. We're not doing that this time. I'm telling you. We're going to read The Contrary Farmer by Jean Logsdon. This detailed and personal account of how Logsdon's family uses the art and science of agriculture to achieve a reasonably happy and ecologically sane way of life and an example for all who seek a sustainable lifestyle. I chose this one because we just read The End of the World is Just the Beginning by Peter Zeihan. And so I feel like we read the problem / what's coming. So now we need to read the solution, right? Like I need an action item here. What can I do to work on the doom and gloom that's coming our way? And so I think that the Contrary Farmer by Jean Logsdon will be nice. We're going to read that. Let me put it in the chat. Oh, let me give you a link. And of course, I will make a community post about this on my YouTube and on my Instagram. Okay, here is the link. This is to Amazon. It's an affiliate link. And here is how do you spell it? Logsden. Is everybody okay with that? I'm sorry, does your Windex recipe have vodka in it? That's hysterical. 2 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of vodka, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and essential oil of your choice. And blue food coloring if you want. And I don't. That's so funny. I believe that. I believe that that probably really works very good. That's cool. Actually, because I think this chat goes away. Let me copy that. Are you cool with that if I copy this? How do I do that? I'm just going to put it in my notes. Does anybody else use, okay, iPhone users, do you guys use the Notes app? I find it very amusing because I use it like crazy. And if anybody ever got my phone and went into my notes, they'd be like, this person is a psychopath. They are wild. It's organized to me. 2 tablespoons of vinegar. 2 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of vinegar. Awesome. Thank you, Amy. Okay, so Contrary Farmer by Jean Logsden. That'll be a good one, and we will discuss that. Also, I think that's a good one for us to read next because I have gardening content coming your way very soon. So that'll go right along with that. And I also have sourdough content, actually. So we are starting a sourdough starter from scratch together, and I have it living in my homesteading room on my computer tower because computer towers are warm. This is insane. Look at this. It's insane. That is crazy. This thing is out of control. So if you want to learn how to start a sourdough starter, that's coming to the channel. Oh, for your, you're talking about the Notes app. Okay. Michelle! Oh, hi. Catella, is that a thing? Does that happen? How much is a lot? Okay, I have 261 notes open. Is that a lot? Michelle, I'm so good. I'm so happy you're here. Michelle is a friend of mine in real life. So that's cool that she's in here. How are you? Hello, Sunshine. Are you considering gluten-free sourdough bread? No, I'm sorry. Oh, Catella, you have just one big note. I'm sorry. That's crazy. You named your sourdough starter Bubbly Bubs. That's cute. I'm sorry. Hello, Sunshine. I know. I'm sorry. It's just that I don't need one. I'm sorry to say that. And so it's just not something that I'm going to spend my time on because it just doesn't fit into my life. I'm really sorry. I hope that you find a great recipe out there. This was fun, you guys. And there's 19 of you in here. This is so cool. So I definitely think then that doing it later in the evening was a good call. Seems like it fits in with your schedule a lot more than doing it in the morning. I should have known that. Nobody wants to do this. This book especially is not morning time material. That's not coffee. That's glass of wine at the end of the day material. That book. So The Contrary Farmer, I think, will be an easier read, easier to discuss. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call it. We've been doing this for 40 minutes. This was a really, really fun conversation. And I will make a post on my YouTube, a community post, as well as on my Instagram. I have a highlighted section on my Instagram with all of the information for the book club. So if you are interested or you need the information, you can check that out on my Instagram under the same handle, Faith and Arrow Homestead. Hello, Sunshine. I'm so glad. She said my first chat, so much fun. I'm so glad. I was so happy that you were here. And this was really fun, you guys. So yes, check out, keep your eyes open for that post giving you the title of the book as well as the date and time for the next virtual book club meeting. And then I've got the property tour video going up tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this evening. This was so much fun. I feel so much better because I was stressing so hard about this live stream. I really was so nervous about it just because it was such heavy material, 597 notes, Tommy girl. Okay, I'm fine with my 261. I got a little time yet. Catella, thank you. Thank you, Amy. You can have pictures in your notes? That's dangerous. All right, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all so much. Have a great evening, and we will talk next time. Bye. Oh, I guess I should end this properly since this gets saved onto my channel. So have faith and keep moving forward. Bye.